Alright, you're listening to the Kayfabe Crusaders. You ready for another episode?
Oh, I'm ready. And you hear that music?
Yeah.
Way to stay in kayfabe. Yeah, that music, which is not being put in post, which we can hear right now.
Oh
yeah.
Yeah, I hear that sounds. Is that? Oh my god.
I think it's
a
Hall.
I think it is.
I think it's a Hall of Fame.
That's
Hall of Famer's music.
Famer. All right, man. So we'll be talking about this mystery Hall of Famer.
Get that worm going.
What else will we be talking about?
Talk a little bit about Raw.
We'll talk a little bit about Raw. Talk a little bit about the network.
And I got some news for you on some scandals in the WWE universe.
Can't wait.
Scandals and sandals. Watching Sirens with The Miz on it.
Wow.
We got it all for you on this episode 3.
He was great, wasn't he?
Oh, he was the best. It was the best part of that 30 seconds I watched of that show.
Yeah, I know. That'll be the most we ever watched that show. And more on that later with the Kayfabe Crusaders.
Hey, we made it back.
Oh man,
We're back for another one.
What a journey this has been.
And I'm talking like Steve Perry, Neil Chandra.
Oh, I thought you hated on Steve Perry.
Well, not when I'm in San Francisco.
Oh, you can't.
Yeah. So I mean, if you can't tell by the different sound of our voices,
Oh, they can tell.
they can tell. They know what's up. We have a smart mark audience.
They know we've been walking up hills.
Yeah, they can sense the out of breath, out of shape bass god
Up
in this
to
one.
Snob Hill.
Snob
That's
Hill.
Right, straight out of Snob Hill.
Heel Town. We are on location. We're taking this show on the road, coming to a city near you, if you live in the city. So we are the Kayfabe Crusaders. We got Bass God here.
And J-Dub in the business.
J-Dub in the business.
Yeah, that's my band name.
Yeah. What about J-Dub in the personal?
Oh, no.
Or in the personals, which is where I found you for this podcast.
Well, come on, that's too personal.
I got you on Adult Friend Finder. I needed a friend who happened to be an adult.
Barely an adult.
Well,
barely.
That's how come I had to screen you a few times. So we are going to be talking about this past week's Raw. There's a couple announcements that they made. It was okay.
Yeah, it was, I liked some things.
This podcast is off to a fantastic start.
Yeah, I know. I liked some things about what we're going to be talking about for an hour.
For the most part, it was crap, which means one would think that this show is going to be crap. But I beg to differ,
yes.
And I would like to argue that makes this show going to be better.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, you are under oath.
All right, what do you got for me, Bass God?
All right, so it started off, they're live from Columbus, Ohio State.
Live, baby.
Yeah, not that old school Raw where you get the results a week later. So
who wants to see that anyway?
It started off with Roman Reigns in the ring cutting a promo. And maybe they should have filmed that a week ago and edited it a little bit.
They got to throw him in the fire, man. They got to do it.
So, to start off with, okay, let's set the tone here. So, they came out right off the top, Roman Reigns, and after having Denver last week, which was pretty much like, they accepted him. It was okay.
I don't know. I always feel like it's half and half. But Denver more than usual, more than other places, was definitely cheering for him.
Maybe because some of the laws that got passed. And
yeah, they didn't know what they were cheering for.
Yeah, they were just happy to be in like one location, feeling really good.
Yeah.
But there was more boos than Denver, but not as much as Detroit. I thought this crowd was weird. Like, there was parts where they would start to cheer Roman, start to boo him. And later we'll talk about, like, they did the same thing with Daniel Bryan. It wasn't, like, totally in love with anybody except Mizdow.
Yeah, I was going to say there was, like, one person that got, like...
He's the only one that was truly over.
Yeah, maybe he should be in the...
in the main event?
In the running for the belt, man.
Yeah, let's start Mizdow versus Brock for WrestleMania.
Oh, my gosh.
I think they have enough time to tell that story.
This cannot be the first time we're talking about that.
It seems like this should have been in the plan since SummerSlam.
Yeah.
Trips. So, for the most part, Roman started okay on the promo. He ended it really weak. He had a couple stutters here and there.
Yeah.
He just trips over his words a little too much.
I think he's coming into his own, though, because I think he's becoming a little bit of a heel.
A little bit. This whole episode.
In my opinion, this is the beginning of the
It's a slow burn, and I like slow burns.
Yeah. Because, they just teased it a little bit with Daniel Bryan and him, getting having their differences.
I felt like through his promo, like you'll notice Roman, he'll casually swear. Mm-hmm. Like he'll say something like, "I'll beat your ass" or something like that.
Yeah.
And it feels like, because it's PG era, they want everything to be kind of, family friendly, but they give him that leeway because they want him to be cool.
Right. And when he says, "I did it because I can," or whatever, I was like, that's such a heel thing to say. So they're slowly making it a heel.
So in the middle of his promo, Daniel Bryan comes out, and they immediately start hyping the match, which I liked because it really started to get me a little excited to see them go at it.
For Fastlane?
Yeah. And I thought, it's going to be pretty cool.
You're not excited for Triple H and Sting?
I started to get it.
Just a little bit.
Once the one of the closing segments, that started to hook me a little bit.
I have my own opinions on that.
That's good.
Yeah.
We'll get to that for sure. So, the only thing I didn't quite like is Daniel Bryan's promo. It seemed like the same thing for when he was up against John Cena.
Yeah,
at SummerSlam. Like, I'm a better wrestler than you, and really laying into.
But I did really like that he said they're equally good looking.
That was funny.
That was a great, and even Rowan was like laughing.
Yeah, it's good when they can do little things like that. Authority comes out. They promote Fastlane, super thick. Then Triple H calls out Sting.
Big surprise. They got two monsters with them,
Yeah. So then they go into the first match. Roman and Daniel Bryan versus Kane and Big Show. I don't know. I thought like it wasn't the Big Show's best match by any stretch.
No,
he seemed pretty off. Daniel Bryan, he really showed that out of those four guys, he's the most talented in the ring by far.
Yeah,
he really overshadowed the other three guys.
Well, I mean, also, I think the only person that kind of knocks is Roman, because the other two guys are just so big that what are they going to do?
And they're supposed to be strong. To be nice, they're seasoned veterans.
Right. I mean, they've probably wrestled more than, I don't know, any other two guys in the company right now.
Yeah. They did that one spot where Daniel Bryan like jumps off the top rope and knocks down like everybody, and he was going for it again, and they caught him.
That's great.
I like that because I was instantly, as soon as he went to the rope, I'm like, oh, this is going to be the thing where he knocks everybody down, and it shut me up.
Yeah.
Which is always good when you can shut me up.
Seriously.
The biggest problem I had with this match was, why was it a DQ? It made no sense for it to end in disqualification, because it was was it Big Show?
Well, did he throw him through the guardrail or whatever?
Well, he didn't throw him through it. He just threw him to the barricade, and he went over.
Right.
What's the difference between him throwing him to the barricade and him just laying on it?
Right.
It wasn't anything that was disqualificationable.
We didn't see a clear foreign object.
Exactly. I have a problem with continuity issues in wrestling. But the reason they did it, the reason behind the disqualification, so that they can announce the match for later, which I have a problem with too.
Yeah.
Like, okay, we saw this match, which is a better version of
the previous one.
Yeah, but whatever. They had Seth Rollins and Ryback come out next. I thought they had a good start. It was starting to be like a contest that I was getting pretty interested in.
Yeah.
Lots of outside distractions from J&J. Good heel heat.
Yeah, that's always the best. I always love the classic heel heat moments with the little weasels.
Oh yeah, and they are weasels. Bobby Heenan let us know that himself.
That's right.
Match was way too short.
Yeah, before I knew it was over.
And Michael Cole, the voice of reason behind all of this, asking, is the Authority going to let any match conclude tonight? Like, starting the show off with two indecisions is the quickest way for me to
be like, turn it off.
Yeah, like, okay, this is just going to be a waste of 3 hours.
Right.
Which it wasn't a waste of 3 hours.
It was 2.5, maybe.
Yeah, 2:45 tops. Next match, Brie and Paige. My biggest thing for this match, I hate Brie's music.
Oh,
Brie mode.
Oh no.
Like, I have no problem with the Bella's music.
Yeah.
You can look but you can't touch.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I mean, I know the song, you know.
But the Brie Mode song, oh my god, that's another mute the TV.
It was one of those things where, of course, they're from Scottsdale, Arizona. That's what I came into my head when that song came on.
Scottsdale, Arizona, the West Coast Jersey Shore.
Yeah, totally. They think they're the West Coast.
Oh yeah, they're the Southwest Express of states.
Yeah.
The biggest takeaway I had from this match was that inner thigh wedgie that Paige had.
Yeah.
That the cameras kept cutting away from.
Yeah.
Every time they would start to move, the camera would move instantly.
That's always gets our attention, I'm sure.
Oh yeah, easily.
Ever since the early days of Sable.
Oh yeah, and you had the puppy explosion of 1998.
Yeah.
Paige wins this match, just furthering the story for her and Nikki at Fastlane.
Right, and my favorite part of the match is how Paige got out of the ring so quick. She won and she's done, and she's like, later.
Yeah.
I was like, that's such a, I don't know, that was just a smart way to play it.
Rusev comes out, does a promo with Lana.
I like this part.
I really like this part. I thought that Rusev is coming into his own.
Yeah, I was like, oh man.
This was one of those turning point moments where it's a mid-carder making that push for the upper card. He's going to make himself a real big contender after this feud with John Cena.
Yeah, he was like, "What, you can't see me?" That was the best. that was like the best line of the whole show.
Yeah, like he had a really cool
Lana
line.
was laughing; she was cracking up.
And Cena did really good work here. I really enjoyed everything that he had except for the poop joke.
Oh yeah.
That was the thing that stuck out like a sore thumb, because it's like, you were doing so well. You were being a threat. You were really making a case for yourself of, this old man's going to whoop your ass, and everything was great.
And then the cartoons.
And you had to go 8th grade on it for just one joke.
I was watching, actually my girlfriend was watching with me at this point, and she was trying to be like, wait, isn't that the guy you said everyone hates? I was like, yeah, I mean, they just hate his character. He's actually pretty good on the mic, blah, blah, blah. Like, I was giving him compliments, and then he does that. And I'm like, oh, come on, man. I was sticking up for you, bro.
But the crowd was into him.
Yeah.
Like at the end of it, well, maybe not even just him, but because Rusev is such a good heel and gets genuine heat from everyone.
Right.
They started chanting the USA. They were responding to John Cena's quips.
Right.
I think this is good for both guys.
Right.
Like, Rusev's getting that nice rub.
And some people are actually cheering on John Cena, which hasn't happened since before last WrestleMania.
It's been a long time since then. But I think it's a good dynamic. I'm becoming more and more interested in the story between these guys.
And it doesn't shove him down our throats. It doesn't shove John Cena or Rusev down.
Yeah, it's a good amount for both guys.
It's perfect for like a upper mid card match.
Yeah, I think this is going to be a nice little feud that they have, which I would imagine is going to continue on to WrestleMania.
I hope so, because Rusev, I mean, he really impressed me last night. That I laughed out loud with the "you can't see me" thing. It's so obvious, but I didn't even think about it.
I like the fact that it's very, in the best way possible, very 80s.
Yeah.
Of like, you have this monster, and then you have the mouthpiece for the monster, talking all the trash, just really getting all the heat on it, and then when the monster does talk, then he's leaving a good impression.
Yeah, it's not. Oh, if it would have been like, if he would have stunk up the joint, like if he Psycho Sid it, then it was like, it would have deflated the whole thing. You're like, oh, this guy, keep him away from the mic.
But when he gets the mic, he takes advantage.
He got the ball,
I consider this episode to be very, very much Rusev taking the bull by the horns.
Right.
Which is awesome. Then they had a follow-up Dolph Ziggler Bray Wyatt rematch, which I was surprised by that it went unannounced, because it was such a great match. It was my match of the week last week, and I would think that they would hype it up a little bit more, but it kind of just went under the radar. I enjoyed it. The crowd was split again between the two guys. They did a lot of chain wrestling, mat wrestling to start it up, which is great. I think Dolph kind of, being that he was, around Ohio a lot.
Right.
You know,
he was a definite fan favorite.
Yeah. How good are his drop kicks, man?
Yeah, they're the best.
Like, best in the business.
Best in the business.
One of those drop kicks got Bray Wyatt some color.
I know.
Gave him a busted nose, busted lip.
Love it.
There was that one spot where Bray Wyatt was going for the crossbody and Dolph jumped a little bit.
Yeah.
It almost looked like it was a botch.
Right.
But it still looked really cool.
Did they both end up on the floor?
Yeah.
Yeah, because I was like, it looked like they actually got hurt.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So
It looked a little nasty.
Yeah.
I like nasty.
And I think the announcers were confused as well.
Yeah. They were, with your favorite spot from last week, the famouser, to getting straight up, they went for it again.
Yeah.
And then this time, Ziggler had a super kick for him.
Yeah.
I like the fact that they kind of connect the dots.
Right.
This was last week, and now if you watched that last week and you kind of saw this, here's the next step for it.
Nice little callback.
Yeah, we all like callbacks. 2 straight victories against Ziggler for Bray. I mean, I get that they're building Bray up for Undertaker,
right?
Make him look really good, but it seems like it's killing.
It doesn't matter if you keep doing it against the same person.
Yeah.
It's like, you keep beating Dolph. It's like, why don't you get someone bigger? You already beat him. You know what I mean? If you're just gonna beat him without any trouble or anything, you know.
Yeah, because now it's making Dolph look bad going into WrestleMania. And
he should have got disqualified. I think Bray should have got disqualified.
Oh yeah. Oh,
something like that. Like Dolph obviously gonna win it, and then disqualification.
So, a couple weeks ago, we had mentioned Al Snow on the podcast.
Oh yeah.
And then the next week, we got Al Snow on Stone Cold's podcast.
I know.
Last week, we talked about the spot where you remove the mat and Razor doing the Razor's Edge. What did Bray Wyatt do this week?
Yeah,
he lifted that mat.
That's what I was thinking when I was watching. I was like, man, I haven't seen that in a long time. It didn't even think to me that. Oh yeah, we were just talking about it.
Yeah,
that's so funny.
So we're 3 for 3 pretty much on this.
His dad probably told him to do it.
Yeah, Mike Rotunda.
Yeah.
IRS to
hell yeah,
to the older '80s fans. And then they came out with a Junkyard Dog video package. So, little trivia for you.
For me?
For you.
Oh, great.
So, for those that don't know, J-Dub and Bass God, we are 2 musicians. We like to play.
We like to play.
Dana Carvey
We
stuff.
like to play.
I sent you over a song, which I called Junkyard Journeys.
Right.
The reason I called it Junkyard Journeys is I started watching... I made the decision that I'm going to watch every single WrestleMania. Starting with 1, going up to 30... And you make sure it's all finished by the time WrestleMania 31 is happening, which we're going to go to. We have awesome seats.
Yes, sir.
Our second WrestleMania in a row.
Yeah. Too sweet.
Too sweet.
This is WrestleMania Too Sweet.
There it is. Woo! So, as I'm watching WrestleMania 1, I'm watching the Junkyard Dogs match. I'm writing a little bass riff. And usually I'll title songs based on what I'm doing at the time. When our San Francisco Giants won the World Series... I was writing a song that I called Misfit Island for the Giants. This time around, I called it the Junkyard Journey. So, the fact that I wrote a song for the Junkyard Dog,
all right,
and then they did a little video package on him. I marked out a little bit. I like that. So it's just a little big ups to the JYD.
All right, so what's up with the trivia? I'm nervous.
Well, that was the trivia.
Oh.
It's a piece of trivia. Not necessarily asking you a trivia question.
Oh, information.
Informational.
Gotcha. I thought you were going to quiz me. I was sweating.
Oh, come on, man. Yeah,
I already had 1 test today, man.
you gotta pass at least one of those tests.
Oh yeah.
So after my boy JYD, they came out with always the best part of any night, Paul Heyman promos.
Oh, so good.
Yeah. So Paul Heyman with Brock Lesnar in tow, cut some promos. Crowd wasn't much of a Daniel Bryan supporter whenever you talk about Daniel Bryan, which it's really getting to be a confusing time to what the crowd wants.
Yeah, I don't know.
But Paul cut some promos on Daniel Bryan, which is refreshing.
Yeah.
Because I'm so used to Paul Heyman talking down to John Cena, or when CM Punk was there at the end. Getting a new face in the mix with him, I think, is awesome.
Right. It was just, I loved all the backhanded compliments. Like, just complimenting Daniel Bryan, and then just to be like, but, you know you're not going to win.
No one does it better than than Paul. And even, like, you got to think about this. Brock Lesnar was out there. Brock Lesnar made X amount of money. Because he makes it per appearance. Or no, he doesn't make it per appearance. But he has a lump sum and he has so many appearances.
Right.
So that was one of his appearances. And he didn't have to do anything. He got money for nothing for standing there.
Seriously, money for nothing, chicks for free, man.
I want my MTV. After that, and it may seem like we're moving a little fast. I'm moving a little fast because it wasn't that many eventful things at Raw.
Yeah, I mean,
there's not a lot to break down from this
what's
one.
next? What is it?
Next is
Goldust Stardust?
Against New Day.
Oh my gosh. See, this is where I was like, the only thing I was really concentrating on was, man, look at how big E is, man. He's so big. Big E is so big.
Yeah.
Obviously, they call him Big E. But to cut you off, I really did actually, I enjoyed this because I thought, I'm tired of Stardust, right? Mm-hmm. But Stardust works so much better as a heel. Because I think he's not necessarily annoying, but he could, like, be a crazy person that, like, kidnaps someone. That's what if they did, like, a, like, back to Attitude Era style where, like, he's doing a little, something little risque, he could, like, I don't know, kidnap someone. I just thought it would be, like, a super good...
What if he kidnapped Eden?
Yeah.
His wife. Breaking kayfabe, his wife. That would be an interesting angle.
Yeah. She doesn't get enough airplay.
She doesn't. And NXT, she gets a lot of airplay.
Oh.
And we'll be talking about some of the females in NXT in a moment. This is part of the thing that you are not privy to. But okay. I'll bring out some info. New Day came out kind of... I'm going to give Peter Rosenberg a little shout out here. R-Truth Jace. They had a very R-Truth kind of entrance, but just not as good.
No.
And when you're not as good as R-Truth,
that's pretty bad.
That's pretty bad. Stardust left really early in the match. I felt it was unprovoked.
Yeah.
Like last week, it was he kind of left. Goldust had kind of tagged himself in, and he was mad about that. This time, it was just like he just left. There was no explanation for it. JBL made the comment, "Why even come out if you're just going to leave right away?" And I felt the same way.
Right.
I felt like this match was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
I felt it would have been better used as a maybe backstage promo.
Yeah.
Not have everybody come out.
Just use that backstage promo that they did.
Yeah. Like it would have been equally as effective.
Because then we wouldn't have to see that New Day thing either.
And that's probably why they did it. They just wanted to get people out there.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So next part, and I think we'll stick on this for a little bit. Mm-hmm. Triple H promo.
Oh yeah.
So Triple H calls out Sting.
I can tell you like this one already. You're all excited.
I liked certain things about this a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There's certain things that I felt, kind of campy.
Mm-hmm.
The thing I liked the most to start off with was the video that you would kayfabe say Sting prepared for Triple H. That was very morbid.
It was cool. I liked the Sting paint on Triple H's face.
That was badass. Yeah. I think that really built my excitement for this match. That's going to eventually happen at WrestleMania. I told you before, listeners, the 12 subscribers that we have, the diehards.
The diehards.
You know that I am not all about returning superstars.
No.
But this actually got me excited. Just seeing that little video package, and I'm like, okay, this is worth 20, 25 minutes of my time.
Right.
They did the misguide spotlight in the crowd.
Yeah.
That was kind of cool.
I knew it was coming.
And then they had
some fake ass Sting come up.
Fake Sting, which my theory was Al Snow in makeup.
Oh, he's back.
I think Al Snow made a return.
It was him.
And
it wasn't even Al Snow in makeup. It was head on top of Al Snow.
Yeah, and he just had that
crouching in the jacket.
Put the Al Snow hair on
how
head.
fake was that Sting?
It was worse than fake Sting in WCW.
Oh my gosh, it was so bad.
It was so
that
obvious.
Wig?
It was bad. It was worse.
It's like that guy's hair is way longer than Sting's.
So I watched Tough Enough, the first season on the network, and that was They had Al Snow as one of the coaches,
Right.
and they had Josh Matthews.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the competition, and he bought one of those Al Snow kind of wigs.
Oh yeah.
And he would mimic Al Snow. He'd have the fanny pack and have the wig on. His wig looked better than this one.
Didn't Al Snow get all freaked out when he mimicked him? They were like, "You better respect me," kind of thing.
It wasn't too bad. He got the joke.
Oh, okay.
It was pretty funny. But yeah, this was a bad fake Sting.
So bad.
Why wouldn't you bring Sting just to do that quick?
Yeah.
You brought Brock in there, and Brock did nothing.
Right.
Like, that was one of the things that it just took you out of the moment.
Yeah, it made me go, oh, so cheesy. This is one of those things that we're going to be talking about on the countdown in like 10, 15 years.
Yeah, because they having the fake Stings for the spotlight misdirection, that's fine.
Yeah.
You get that. You can't really be everywhere at once.
Mm-hmm.
But you have them in the ring for that split second, and it makes all the difference.
Yeah, because people will know. And I'm sure, just like you and I did, people knew that guy looked like some fake, I don't know, like Asian woman wig. You know what I mean? That was terrible.
I mean, they would have been a better job to get Mizdow to dress up as Sting and put him out there with a beard, and it still would have been okay.
They would have cheered so loud if that happened.
And then Triple H kind of jumps out of his boots.
Yeah, that was
too cartoony.
Yeah.
I mean, you're calling this guy out, and then
if he's gonna do that, then it better be the real Sting.
Exactly. You don't kayfabe jump for some loser.
Mm-hmm.
So then after that, they had Usos versus Tyson Kidd and Cesaro.
I liked that match.
I did too. And
I don't like the Usos, but I liked that match. Mainly the finish, but the wrestling moves were pretty sweet. I mean, Tyson Kidd, whatever he does with the ropes when he goes through them, like he always like goes through and does some weird like hold or something.
Yeah.
Like gets someone else tangled up in the ropes. I really like that.
I think that Tyson and Cesaro, they bring out a lot of the best in the Usos, and vice versa, because Tyson and Cesaro are still a new tag team, but they have good chemistry.
I like it because they have the worker in there, Tyson, and then they got the big strong guy, which would be Cesaro.
And I like with the Usos, I like the fact that they have Naomi in that ring gear.
Oh yeah,
I'm digging that ring gear. That. Oh yeah, they had a lot of really cool like spots where Tyson would reverse the Uso outside jump by flipping him over on the ring, on the ropes. That was really cool. There was a really good moment where Jey Uso did a super kick on Tyson Kidd, and it looked like that was the end of the match.
Yeah.
Went for the cover, and a great kick out by Tyson Kidd. Great false finish. But yeah, it was a good heel win.
Great.
At the end.
I thought, oh man, they're going to... Because I was like, oh sweet, heel win, and then they the Usos reversed that, and then there's another one.
Yeah, I mean, even going back to last week's singles competition, that finish, they're doing a good job at the misdirection of the ending, which makes it super entertaining.
I really hope it pays off, though. I hope they don't just keep the Usos as champs. I hope there's a little bit of a back and forth or a rivalry.
There should be. They got to be careful though about not overexposing the tag team dynamic.
Yeah.
Like, I think last week's singles competition, very effective.
They used to do that, man. They used to have, one-on-one. Because it's not for the belt, This was an actual tag team match, which the champs lost, which is good, because that'll show that, hey, they can be beat, even though it's a heel win.
Yeah, and it's gonna end up being a match at Fastlane now for the belt.
Right, and if they keep doing the one-on-ones, I mean, that's a way of teasing it. That's old school. That's classic.
Yeah, and then you don't give away like, well, I already saw this match 2 weeks ago on Raw.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, you saw the singles competition. Now let's see what happens when everybody.
It has all the ingredients for like an old school tag team feud, because you got the valet who can like slap one of the heels, and they can get pinned after that or something like that. You know what I mean? It has like all the ingredients, and then if the heel wins, they have the good guys who could possibly lose. You know what I mean? It's perfect.
Yeah, it's really good wrestling, and immediately after their match, they announced the next Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
Love the fact that he's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
Hated the package they made for him.
Oh, really? Just him dancing? And stink faces?
Yeah, so Rikishi's in the Hall of Fame, which is great. Makes a lot of sense. And the Usos announcing him, his twin boys. 90% of the video package that they made was about the stink face.
Was a dimply ass.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, if that's what you think his whole career was, that's not a Hall of Fame career.
Right.
And they're usually great about every video package that they do.
Yeah.
This one, I thought it was like 90% about the stink face, 5% was about the Usos themselves.
5% Usos, 90% stink face, and the other 5% was the Scotty Too Hottie and what's his name? What's the other guy?
Scotty Too Hottie and why am I blanking?
Too Cool or what's it?
Yeah. Jeez, I know it's Lawler's kid.
Oh yeah. I thought he was Scotty Too Hottie.
No. Scotty Too Hottie was the worm.
Yeah. You're right. You're right. Whatever. Lawler's kid, and so we're gonna take a moment at the end of this to kind of talk a little bit more about Rikishi. Mm-hmm. Give him his due.
Give him his due, because I felt like Raw didn't do a great job of that. And we're gonna be there at the Hall of Fame ceremony.
That's right.
We're gonna say what's up to him.
We paid our money.
Yeah, you just destroyed the fantasy. You broke kayfabe on that one.
Oh.
I was gonna say we're gonna be on the red carpet, but
now we paid our money for the limo.
Yeah, that's true. They would not comp us the limo in our press passes that we had requested.
Well, I talked to Vince. He said he'd probably hit us back with that, so it's all good.
I'll call you later.
He fired me, actually.
Yeah. I joined the Kiss Your Ass Club. It was...
Well, it doesn't count if there's no cameras.
Well, I had my video camera on my phone.
Okay.
I posted that on Snapchat.
Hey, internet.
Hey, 15 seconds later, it was gone. After that, we had a callback to last week. We had Sin Cara versus Mizdow, which, unlike the other kind of returns, I felt like this was better than last week. Last week, Miz versus Sin Cara. Mizdow was nice because you had the Miz on the outside with the microphone,
right,
being fantastic heel again.
Looked great with the crowd.
Yeah, the crowd started.
Did we say better than Columbus?
Yeah. So they started shouting, "You're from Cleveland," and then on the mic, we didn't even miss a beat. Yeah. Better than Columbus.
Better than Columbus.
So good. That was one of those moments where I'm like, I applaud you, Miz. Yeah, I am so glad that you are on this path right now.
If you didn't have that, if you didn't come from the reality show, if the real world or whatever, then we wouldn't have. No, I don't think anybody would have this negative thought about him.
Oh no,
he's so
all the heat comes from his background.
Yeah.
But he turns those lemons into lemonade, man.
Yeah.
He does it so well. Another setup match, but like I said,
he was in the show after Raw, right? Whatever show.
Oh, you know what's funny is I did watch his scene. I was
like, these are not calibrated or whatever you were talking about the weights.
What's it called? Sirens? Is that the name of it?
I don't know.
That show on USA. Yeah, immediately after my DVR was done, I started looking up something else to watch on TV, and then that started playing in the background, and I'm like, oh, that's right, and I exited so I could watch his scene.
Yeah.
And I chuckled a little bit, but it was just he's just so pompous in that.
Yeah.
It was made perfect for it. Still not gonna watch the show.
Never.
So then after that was Bray Wyatt's promo.
Right.
I liked a lot about his promo. A couple really key lines. He started asking, where do we go when we die? And to men like us, there is no death.
Right. It's obvious Taker's coming back.
Oh, yeah. He's really pushing for that.
I love Michael Cole's like, oh, wonder who you could be talking to, you know? Who is this person?
And I like how it's like he's slightly changing the follow the buzzards, and now it's like find me.
Oh, yeah.
And he's challenging the Undertaker
right.
to locate him. Just another great promo. Followed by another promo from Axelmania.
Oh, yeah.
Curtis Axel.
That's your boy.
He was my boy last week. This week was the exact same thing.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you got to build from it. You can't just revisit it.
Yeah.
I thought that it's a good effort, and I hope that he gets a match at WrestleMania, but it's just another...
What do you think it's going to be, him and Lunatic Fringe?
No, not at all. Because after this match, Dean does the promo on Bad News.
Yes. Oh, my God. This was the moment where I'm most excited about this show. Oh, my God. So, yeah, Bad News and Lunatic Fringe, man. Like, how many great promos are going to come out of this? I think their chemistry is already great.
Yeah.
Yeah, they are two kind of anti-heroes, but
But Bad News Barrett's becoming more of a real heel now.
Yeah, right.
Because he is being more cowardice where he's not accepting the challenge.
right.
And I like the fact that they're making that distinction between the two of Dean Ambrose is like, come on, let's do this, and Bray Wyatt, and Bad News Barrett is just, you know what, you don't deserve a title shot.
Oh, love it.
And it's such a great dynamic that you don't really get from a lot of heels.
I think this might be the match I'm most excited about.
It has potential to be, you know, a show stealer. And I think that it's a story that they can really build on.
Yeah, definitely.
We were talking before about how Dean Ambrose getting the belt would be great. As this is building, I would like for him to kind of get shafted a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
And
makes
just,
it better.
Yeah, just when that payoff happens, it'll be so big. But yeah, these guys' chemistry is great. Once he does give Ambrose the shot, it's going to go nuts. And then close the show out with the 5-on-2 main event. You had Kane, Big Show, Seth Rollins, J&J Security against the Beard and the Promo Killer. So it was.
I wasn't really watching this. I was like, what?
You didn't miss a whole lot.
Yeah.
Like it started off with the beatdown, and then they double chokeslam by Show and Kane to get rid of Roman. Then the match finally starts, and then it's just a rotating. Everyone gets a turn at beating up Daniel Bryan.
Well, he has to be in the match the whole time, otherwise no one wants to watch it.
A nice dynamic was when Ryback, Ziggler, and Rowan come out to kind of make a save.
But I still can't see Rowan as a freaking face, dude. He's coming down. Like, that guy should be a bad guy.
Yeah, I know.
I feel like if... I mean, he's good. I like him and stuff, but I feel like if him and if the Wyatt family still stayed together,
it could be doing a lot.
Could have been a pretty sweet tag team. Oh, finally some heels would have the belts.
Well, we'll see about Tyson and Cesaro. Maybe they can bring it back. But I do like the dynamic that the Rowan and Harper had. It was so good. And now it seemed like when they gave the Intercontinental Championship to Harper, like that was going to be his next step. And then Bad News Barrett comes back, and now Harper's lost in the shuffle again.
Right.
Which is it's so unfortunate because he is such a talent, and it feels like it's being wasted right now. Both of them.
Right.
Where they could really use each other. Ziggler had a great leap off of the stage, which was nice. They did a lot of outside scuffles that left J&J Security in there with Daniel Bryan. My question to this, going back to continuity. So the first match of the night, disqualification because he went over the barricade.
My God, yeah.
This one, you had outside interference.
Yeah.
They're fighting on the outside of the ring.
Yeah, see, that's
and the match goes on.
Yeah.
Like, there's no.
The faces shouldn't come out until the bell has rung and the match is over.
Exactly.
The faces should come out and save after that.
I thought that was just another continuity issue that I couldn't get away from. Daniel Bryan was about to hit Joey Mercury with the running knee. And then Roman tags himself in and hits the spear.
I liked that part.
Heel move. That's a heel move.
He's going to be heel. As soon as I saw that, I go, heel, done.
Yeah.
And I knew what was coming. After that, there's one more spear left.
And it's just the conflict that Daniel Bryan and Roman Reigns are having. I like it. I like the build up to the match. I'll watch the match, and I know it'll probably be a good one.
Right.
I think that Daniel Bryan is good enough of a wrestler to get the best out of Roman Reigns.
Right.
And it's good for Roman Reigns to have competition like this with somebody who's more experienced and can guide him. It'll make him look good.
Right.
I think it'll end up being a good match.
Roman's going to win, though.
There's rumors going out now about a triple threat. And I don't want that to happen.
Neither do I, man. We already saw that.
Yeah. I want there to be a clean decision.
Yeah.
I mean, it's tough because every crowd since Royal Rumble has been different.
Yeah.
It hasn't been a consensus of we love Roman, we hate Roman, we love Daniel Bryan.
It's kind of been equal. There have always boos and cheers for both.
And because it's equal, put Roman in there.
Yeah.
Because it's like, if no matter what decision you make, you're only going to make half the people happy.
Right.
You might as well go with the plan that you wanted to do originally.
Yeah, or the investment that you already
Exactly.
And, I mean, whether Brock stays or not for Mania, I mean, you might as well create another heel to take over.
I mean, but at the end of the day, Seth's going to cash in anyway.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, it looks like Roman's making a nice little heel turn. That's how they ended the show. We'll see how that goes. We went a little quicker because there wasn't a whole lot of new points that were made. Right now, today is Tuesday that we're recording this. You're probably listening to this on Wednesday, which means that tonight, Wednesday, Kayfabe tonight, is the NXT pay-per-view special, which we'll do another review on, along with Monday Night Raw for next week.
That's right.
So you'll hear both of those. I did want to talk a little bit about Rikishi. I went back on the network, $9.99, and I watched one of his matches. It was a match for the Intercontinental Belt against Val Venus.
Nice.
From Fully Loaded 2000.
Hello, ladies.
Oh yeah, and in his corner, Trish Stratus.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh, was that back when they were...
When they were a little item going down. Steel cage match.
Oh, man.
It was a classic. So if you want to see a good Rikishi match, Fully Loaded 2000, there was great spots where Rikishi would take Val Venus and throw him against the cage, and he would just go face first in the cage. And this is like the really good chain link that busts you open.
Yeah.
And there was a good spot where Rikishi was about to exit through the door. Trish comes by out of nowhere, slams it in his head.
Love it.
Pure headshot. Like no hands to the face, nothing. He just took it.
Samoan, dude.
And then Rikishi goes like he's going to exit the cage. And he's going over the top. Huge man trying to go over the top.
That's crazy.
When he gets to the top, he does the Superfly Jimmy Snuka splash
no way.
on Val Venus. To see that alone is worth paying that $10 for the month. But this month you guys get it for free anyway, so download
Just watch it.
I'm
gonna watch it right now, man.
It was such a great you'll and he ends up losing the match to Val Venus. He hurts himself on that spot and all that. But win or lose, it doesn't matter because that was one of those moments in his career that
they should have shown that.
They should have shown that. Like it was such a missed opportunity to just talk about the stink face.
Yeah.
Like he's had moments. Was it Elimination Chamber? Or I think it was a Hell in a Cell where he fell off of the cell into the bed truck.
Right.
Like that was another great moment. Like for a big man, he wasn't afraid to take risks and to.
I can't believe he did the Superfly.
It was great. He hit it so spot on.
Oh no.
And like when he's up there, you're so concerned for him, and you're like, man, like big guys aren't used to being up there.
Right.
This, but it was nice. But away from that, there was other news that came out.
Oh, this is what you wanted to tell me.
I want to talk about because you did not read about any of this.
No, I did not.
So
present it.
Oh, there's things that were presented to everyone.
Oh no.
So my boy, Mr. Money in the Bank, Seth Rollins, he had a little bit of a personal. I don't know if it was a personal spat that happened online, or if his account was possibly hacked. But yesterday before Raw, there were pictures posted.
Oh no.
From Seth Rollins' Twitter. And his Twitter feeds into the WWE website.
Right.
So from his phone, there was a picture of WWE NXT diva Sahara Schreiber nude. Here is the censored version. I will show you there.
Oh wow.
Yeah. I've seen the uncensored version. Not too shabby.
All right.
So it's like, cool. That's awesome. Cut 2.
Oh no.
Let me see. Let me see the time frame on this. That was posted. Actually, I don't have a time frame. But Seth Rollins' fiance then posts pictures of her own. And when I mean of her own, I don't mean of her. These are censored, so I'll show you these. She posts 2 naked pictures of Seth. And they are full Monty.
So she's pissed, I'm assuming.
So, and a lot of the comments that she made were very tongue-in-cheek. But it was just a lot of dirty laundry possibly putting out there. So
Can't wait to hear someone make fun of him on Raw next week.
So Triple H commented on it today, saying that it was an unfortunate incident that is a private matter, and I guess they put a memo out to everyone that they are not to speak of it in the WWE.
Oh,
so it's not going to turn into anything there. But it's interesting to think: is it something where his account was hacked, or was it something that is some sort of dirty laundry? Because one, if it was hacked, how was the original NXT picture? Like, who had that picture?
Right.
And if it was Seth, then he's in a world of hurt coming up.
Oh, man.
Both from his fiance, which we'll still say current fiance, and from he might get some heat coming from management.
Wow.
Because that was something that it was on the website. It just fed through, and
wow, he's getting fined for sure.
If something's gonna happen, I mean, if Jack Swagger, he was on the road to winning a championship.
Yeah.
When they caught him with pot in the car.
Oh man.
That totally ruined him. Hopefully this doesn't ruin Seth.
No way.
But he still doesn't really have much direction right now, anyway.
Right. That'd be a shame if this stalled his career.
Yeah.
Stopped it.
I mean, but you got to think of it in two ways. Like Triple H's career was stalled because of the curtain call.
Yeah.
And then we got Stone Cold from it.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe if worst case scenario, if this gets stalled, maybe we get Dean Ambrose from it. Maybe we get Sami Zayn coming up or something. The possibilities are always endless. But I would still love to see Seth, tear it up.
Yeah.
So as I commented before, I started watching WrestleMania 1.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to watch all of them going up. Probably tonight I'll watch WrestleMania 2. Tomorrow I'll watch the NXT special. But I instantly found that watching all these WrestleManias is very much like working out. Or I should rephrase this, is very much what I imagine working out is all about. Because, like, they always say, like, the toughest day is day one. Like, like, once you kind of get the routine going, it gets easier and it gets better. Watching WrestleMania 1 was tough.
Oh, I bet.
You look back at the nostalgia of a lot of things.
It's just like, that was so much more like I don't know, what would you say? Not promo, but just so, not tongue in cheek. It was just all, glitz.
Kind of campy.
Yeah, it was all sizzle.
Yeah.
No steak.
No, very little steak. It was headlined, of course, by Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff tagging with Roddy Piper against Hogan.
Who did not get pinned.
Hogan, come on. You know the truth. And Hogan teamed up with Mr. T. Mr. T did not look bad in that match. He looked pretty good. Just a lot of, like, chaos. That match was all chaos. It was built on commotion. Other matches kind of went under the radar for the most part. It's tough watching some of that older stuff that, like, 1985 is when the first WrestleMania was.
Right.
Watching that, it's like, okay, I was born that year. I was born later in that year. It happened before my existence. I know a lot of those wrestlers because when I was growing up watching wrestling, Hogan was still around, Piper still around. Still watched a lot of Tito Santana, who was on the bill. Mike Rotunda, who became IRS, was on the bill. But it's just tough sometimes watching that when you don't have a lot of context.
Yeah, no build up.
Yeah, and a lot of the guys aren't the best. But you could definitely see, like, watching Piper work.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, he's a cut above a lot of people that night. Like, you can see if he was transported to today,
it would still work.
Like, Piper's good in any generation. I think that I'll probably start to really enjoy it around WrestleMania 9, WrestleMania 10. I'm looking
that's
forward.
When it gets like.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to WrestleMania 4.
That's when the nostalgia hits in even more for you.
Because I watch those live.
Right.
WrestleMania 3, like, the best matches I've already seen a million times.
Right.
Steamboat and Savage, Hogan, Andre. I've seen those a million times. WrestleMania 4, watching Macho Man do the tournament, I'm looking forward to that.
Oh, yeah.
Win the belt there. Mega Powers in WrestleMania 5 will be cool. I've already seen a lot of stuff from WrestleMania 6 with Hogan and Warrior. But WrestleMania 9, the one where they did Vegas, like, that one's going to be fun to watch because it was bad enough to where it's entertaining.
Yeah.
WrestleMania 10, you get ladder match.
Oh, yeah.
You get Brett and Owen. Like, that's where you start to get the meat with the potatoes.
Your favorites.
Yeah. And so I just feel like this next week, just get through all the other stuff. And then I'll start to get
That's
on.
when you,
I'll start enjoying it.
I'll have to come over for some of those.
Yeah, man. What have you watched on the network?
Let's see. What I've been watching Monday Night War, man.
Oh, yeah.
I love it, man.
The Ken Burns style of
so
wrestling.
Except Ken Burns is kind of different where they don't replay a lot of stuff. They replay a lot of stuff.
Oh, yeah. Episode.
Yeah, so I'm like, I forget what I was like, wait, did I watch this already? That's the
right.
That's the only negative.
Especially the beginning, because the beginning setup is almost identical.
Right, and it's not going in like time, it's like jumping all over the place.
Yeah, they're doing more theme.
Yeah, because it hasn't gotten to, I wanted to see the Montreal Screwjob. Oh, by the way, when I was at work, my buddy Alex, he was like, talking to me about wrestling and stuff. He's like, you're really into wrestling, aren't you? I go, yeah, man. I mean,
I got a podcast.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, I got a podcast. I mean, and he was like, oh, like, because he was like so dumbfounded. Like, why do you like it? I was like, there's such a big culture to it, man. It's like, there's such a big culture to it. And I explained to him, okay, here's an example for you. And I just explained to him the Montreal Screwjob. And he was like, oh, that's pretty crazy.
Oh, yeah, dude.
And I was like, yeah, man. And then it turned into what he knows is wrestling. Because he knows Shawn Michaels and Stone Cold and all the Attitude stuff. Because everyone watched it.
During that time, like, that was
everyone
on
in
TV Guide. It was on Entertainment Weekly. Like,
everyone in our age demographic watched that. So I told them how it came to be.
Yeah,
Montreal Screwjob. Yeah, exactly. I'm like, let me educate you, bro. Let me make you humble.
Humble them Iron Sheik style.
I did.
Did you listen to the Iron Sheik podcast with JR?
No, I did not.
I listened to it, and I want to see that Sheik movie, man.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it looks really cool.
Is it out already, or what?
Yeah, you can download it on iTunes, Google Play, and
I need to watch
something else, yeah. But it looks pretty interesting, and it was cool hearing him talk about some stuff. But yeah, dude, the Monday Night Wars, that stuff's awesome.
I know. But do you know what's funny, man? Watching the Monday Night Wars and Bischoff talking like he was like, oh, I thought that was a very great idea. Like something Vince did. It's like, dude, you had no idea what you were doing. You know? He goes, well, I did this. I opened up this. And I kind of started that. And they kind of, changed it up a little bit with like DX and NWO, which is like, I believe it's true. Like when when Stone Cold asked Triple H, like, who do you think was more influential? I don't think there's any way that DX was more influential than NWO.
I agree. NWO changed the industry.
Yeah, it started the whole reality thing.
It's like one of those questions, like when you go to music, like, who do you think was more influential, Guns N' Roses or Pearl Jam?
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, you can argue Pearl Jam's put out more albums, they've sold more records, they've been around longer. But Guns N' Roses, in the small amount of time that they had, blew up huge. Right. And it's like one of those, like, those bright...
I don't think there was any time where Pearl Jam was the biggest band in the world.
No.
But I think there was definitely a time where Guns N' Roses was the biggest band in the world.
By far. And that's kind of the thing. Like, NWO, when they were on top, they were bigger than everything else.
Right.
They changed the industry.
Right.
DX was an extremely entertaining part of the industry, but they were still playing by a lot of the rules that the NWO set.
Right.
And then they didn't change the Attitude Era. Bret Hart, Montreal Screwjob did a lot of that.
Right.
That's what kind of broke that wall down to kind of steal Chris Jericho. But their longevity is great. I think that as a faction, they're a better faction.
Oh, yeah. I mean, better faction, better storylines, better overall, but more influential? I don't think so.
Yeah, I agree.
NWO was like the Stone Cold of...
Yeah, game changers, man.
Yeah. But back to what I was saying with the Triple H podcast as well. What do you think about China going in the into the Hall of Fame? What do you think?
It's one of those things, like, I get why people would say she shouldn't be in. I get why people say that she should be in. My personal opinion, it wouldn't kill me if she wasn't in.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think that her merits in the ring kind of...
She was an Intercontinental champ.
She was the first woman Intercontinental champ.
I think she deserves to be in it.
Based on merits in the ring, 100%. But they don't only look at merits in the ring.
No, it's business. Man. She's not going to go.
She's not going to go
anytime soon.
No,
anytime soon. But she deserves it because
she did a lot.
When I was watching Monday Night Wars, I was like, wow, she really kicked ass because they all had. Okay, they had the New Age Outlaws. They were tag team champs.
Mm-hmm.
Then I think you had Triple H, he was the heavyweight champ at that point. But everyone had gold.
Yeah. And then X-Pac had...
Light heavyweight.
Was it light heavyweight or even European champ?
It was light heavyweight.
Okay.
Which is weird. And then they had...
That was the time of the
China was
cruiserweights, man.
Intercontinental. Which means China was above X-Pac. Right?
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you watch their video, a lot of times she was on top there too.
Yeah.
But that's nothing different. But yeah, dude, that's what always makes a faction look even better. Like
when they all have the gold.
When you looked at Evolution,
yeah.
When it was Triple H, Batista, Randy Orton, and Flair, they all had gold. Like Horsemen all having gold. Like it's an impressive thing to look at. With NWO, it's like, yeah, they had the gold, but they wrote themselves having the gold.
Right.
It wasn't what was best for business.
Right. It was not. And man, imagine if they did not just start inviting everyone to be in NWO.
Oh yeah.
Imagine how great it would have been. But
things could have been way different, man.
We could have been talking about a WCW podcast.
Right? Oh yeah, like that's where the big boys play.
I know. Anyway,
look at the adjective.
Anyway, back to. But yes, that's what I've been watching on the network. I've only watched about I think actually maybe 3 or 4 episodes.
It's good.
I think the next one.
Have you seen the Cruiserweight one yet?
No.
That one's really good.
I gotta watch that because I always loved watching.
Because I love the Cruiserweight one because that's when they start to bring in little brother ECW to be a real big.
They start talking about it a little bit.
Yeah,
as well.
But with the Cruiserweight, it's like Paul Heyman. Yeah, we had all these guys first, and then WCW bought them, and then they got pissed off at WCW, so they went to the WWE. ECW's influence on everything it's really
it's pretty amazing.
It's well spoken in that documentary. Monday Night Wars, another reason to get the network.
Yeah,
$9.99. All right, we're gonna take one more little break here, and then we'll have a little show wrap up.
All right.
Kayfabe Crusaders, baby.
You know where you are. You're in the jungle, baby. You're gonna die.
And we are back with the Kayfabe Crusaders.
All right, time to wrap this thing up.
Wrap it up, B. Wrap that gavel up.
All right. So, question for you.
Yes.
What would you rate Raw? What is your letter grade?
My letter grade? I'd probably go C-.
C-. Yes.
Yes.
Harsh. I'm thinking solid C.
Okay. Solid state
C.
amp. Okay.
Solid. No. 2, baby. 2. All right. So why are you thinking C-?
I mean, I could have given it a C+ if we would have had real Sting. Having the fake
That
Sting.
is such a big minus, dude.
It takes me out of the product. Like, if you would have had a hologram, which they like to do from time to time, if you would have had just the simple video of I accept on the Titantron,
right?
Like it would have made it better for me. But the fact that it was there and it was blatantly a fake Sting, rubbed me the wrong way.
I don't know. They should have. Maybe if they didn't have him in the ring and we couldn't tell, but we would know. So I guess there's no way around it. Yeah, that was terrible.
Yeah, and also, I mean, like we said, I think they dropped the ball on presenting Rikishi as a Hall of Famer. Hopefully, the actual ceremony, they built him up better than that.
Yeah, man, I want to. Why didn't they show that Superfly splash, man?
I don't know. Missed opportunity, man. Yeah. They're catering too much to the cartoony side of it.
Dude, yeah, I know, man. It's so weak. I think Rikishi should take his ball and go home.
Hey man, take both those giant balls that he had to jump off the top of the cage.
Oh, I know, dude. Anyway,
so we'll leave you with a little heads up for next session. We'll be reviewing the NXT pay-per-view, which I'm very excited for.
Are we gonna see that the naked NXT diva?
I don't think she'll be there. I think she's still up and coming, or coming out, or. Just exposed you. Pretty girl. But there will be a 4-way Divas match.
Oh, excellent.
You know how I like 4-ways with Divas.
Yeah, you'll be watching that without your pants.
Who said I had pants in the first place?
Mm-hmm.
It's a podcast, not a pants cast.
True.
But then Sami Zayn, he'll be going up against Kevin Owens
Excellent.
for the strap, defending the strap. And then we'll review next week's Raw, which hopefully they build some more stories.
What are your predictions for next week? What do you think's going to happen?
I think that they're gonna hopefully the Dolph and Bray Wyatt feud is done.
Mm-hmm.
It did look for like a split second at the end of that Bray Wyatt was gonna take Dolph, like he did with like Daniel Bryan,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe would have converted him.
Yeah.
And for a split second, I was interested in that. But then when they didn't do that, I was like, okay, just leave it.
Yeah, just leave him be.
There'll be more builds for Roman and Daniel Bryan for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we'll see even more of a heel turn from,
I hope
from
so,
Roman
man.
Reigns.
I hope he like uses a weapon or something.
That'd be great.
Yeah.
I mean, the spear, Superman punch, and the kick. He got to add something else.
Or maybe like J&J Security helps him out or something.
That'd be weird.
Yeah.
Yeah. What if they put them in a match or?
Do you know what I was thinking? Something that could get Roman more heat. What if like he's put up with Dean Ambrose and like turns on him too?
Oh yeah.
Because that's his boy. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah. If he chooses Seth over Dean.
Yeah, or something like that, or like, they have an argument. They could do something like that. I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see how that works. But in the meantime, make sure you guys hit the like button.
Come on, we need those likes, those follows. Just get those views up.
Subscribe. We're up to 12. We like that.
Yeah.
That's 12 more than we had 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, and that's 12 more than I thought we'd ever have.
Hey, I mean, maybe we should subscribe to it too.
Yeah, I know.
Play our own cards. Tell some friends. We post this up every week. We do it on our own. No sponsors. No corporate BS, man.
Yeah,
This is for the people.
That's right, ECW style.
You know it.
So thanks for listening.
Yeah, we appreciate it. This is the Kayfabe Crusaders. This is Base God.
And J-Dub.
All right, guys. Make sure that you hit all 4 posts on the corner in that strap match of life.
That's right. Oh, wow.
There you go.
Pretty good. Later.
Later.